Winter Chronicle. If you were to put a new heart in me with your meager lips, on the cold face of these walls, a blue day will break on the brooding hills. A dead wind will rise with spring, and a banished sun will be recalled from exile. If you would give me a new heart at the cruel end of my day. There are unfinished things burning in desire without love. These are eyes which gazed into hell's mouth and returned blinded. On every corner of earth, man sets up his governments and inadequate laws, his boundaries between hearts and territories, his cunning shops with which he hopes to dominate. So here begins the city of the fortune hunters. When man devised means to leave himself alone, he exists like a beast, eating, defecating, his dreams growing wild with his reasoning, his loneliness added in cold figures in narrow, dingy rooms. And converted into a learned beast, he barely roams in a civilized jungle. What happens to immaculate voices embalmed in pages of clammy rooms? What happens to learning and purist in streets and on pavements? My love, I've only inherited his foolish legacy, even before we existed. Now, I tell you the other truth of the same river which gives us voices and wets our eyes. I disclose the nakedness of our skin from leaves and feathers. I bear the latent music in our souls from birds and the sea. I am talking of the love we borrowed from animals, but not the sorrow we weave from our human bonds. When I tire of man's achievements, his proud trophies, his patent discoveries and inventions, I return to the blunt end of desire. And like any solitary man who always searches when nothing comes his way, I live in dread of strange timepieces, vanquished by the day and quarantined by night. My love, an unknown presence, lurks everywhere, and neither prayer nor logic can drive the names away. So we return as rice and wine to earth. But think of me as your day and your night, not the day which begins with the clock's axiom, with traders and soldiers united by a collective desire, and merchandise carefully pressed and laid out like clothes, with guns cleaned and oiled, ensured of a smooth functioning, and butchers washing dried blood from their blocks into small rivers, with grocers renovating early vegetables. Restive as ants, everywhere man wants to plant his flag, for his concrete towers sprouting arrogantly from the bowels of earth, identical without character. He even maims his own memorials. Having emerged from his prehistoric cave, he surpassed his feral brethren and perfected savagery by splitting the atom, by raining obscene death from the skies, death which clings to the flesh of children in faceless hamlets. Bound to brutal history, which defines lying, man defers his lessons, and one hand never washes the other. So we continue with hours beginning with torture and ending with rape, and after the dissolution of regimes, he meticulously exhumes his crimes with mass graves, punishing the killers he has nourished and rewarding the already senile heroes. But he turns his eyes away from starving children and wants to speak to intelligent beings by bridging interstellar gorges. So how far has man walked from his cave when during his waking hours he is trapped inside his buildings, his own cages, with mice, inhaling the fetid breath of machines, and even his young are not spared when they are made to perform like circus animals before sadistic adults. But civilization throws throws ashes in his eyes, covering him in finery, persuading him to cultivate the opera, learned books, persuading him to cultivate the opera in evenings and sip wine, to hang canvases on walls and read learned books, gentling his tongue until death sends his emissary, soliciting man's presence, and animals draw near, bearing guns and grenades, and they wouldn't even reveal which century we are living in. My love, night flings its dark shroud across the hills, but we have already paid the price to the boatman. We know death, but our lives are dear, although the grim raven priests of time are wheeling above us. And in the mountains with their great rains, your name grew out of earth, burning again in the heart of time. So I shall survive this storm of leaves and words. I shall salvage the wreck of sunken youth by yielding to retrieve broken things, if the rain also stitches the fissures of earth. And I seek growth and moisture, not the dark weight of a stone, unwilling to grow old with a censorious tongue, seedless, resigned to death, petrifying by degrees. My love, even the darkness is broken by howls and dripping water. The clock again awaits dawn, but when I uncover the word in my hand, it spelt only loneliness. My love, night conspires with the wind, whispering black secrets once more. If only you would give me your hand, a day dressed in blue will dance on these cold walls, consuming my winter to winter sadness. Thank you.